Guys, welcome back today for another video. Today we're going to be doing a leveling kit, spring retainers, uppers and lowers on the front of my WJ Grand Cherokee. I already have a 4.5-inch lift. It has Rusty's off-road springs, but I want to level it, and in the process of doing all this, we're going to need to recenter our front axle. So we're going to need to readjust the track bar, and we're going to need to readjust the steering wheel. This won't change your toe. And if you don't have your lower control arms moved out enough, you're going to want to move those. I'm not going to have to do that because mine are moved way far enough out. I had to do that to clear my tires. So it should move it back a little bit and we should be good. So let's hop right into the video and I hope you guys enjoy. So guys, this is the leveling kit right here. It's 3/4 of an inch. It goes on top of your springs, well, on top of your spring isolators. These are the upper spring retainers, and these are the lower spring retainers. So to put these on, we're gonna have to tap the existing holes, and to put these on, we're gonna have to drill new holes and tap them. So I'll show you guys all that when I get to there. And these are pretty easy to put on. You just flex the front axle and put these on top. So let me get the wheels off the Jeep and I'll show you guys what's going on. So guys, before you even take your wheels off or anything, you're going to want to disconnect your sway bar links. This is just going to let the axle flex enough so you can get the springs out. If you don't have quick disconnects, you'll have a bolt. These are quick disconnects, so I'm just going to pull the pin and pop the link off. And then what we're going to be focusing on, one of the last steps is going to be to adjust this bar right here, which this is going to center your steering wheel. And we're going to have to adjust this bar right here, which is over there. So this will center your axle, this will center your steering wheel. You should be good to go. So let me get the sway bar off and get my wheels off, and then I'll meet you guys back. All right guys, so I got my wheel off, and my back is still screwed up, so I'm being very, very careful doing this. I can't afford to re-hurt myself, so it's gonna take a little bit longer than it normally would take me, which really sucks. I really hope I get better soon. I've honestly had enough of not being able to do the stuff that I want to do. I haven't been able to work really that much, and it really sucks. So just take that into note for all you guys. Be careful when you lift stuff. Don't hurt yourself. There's no reason, there's no rush. Take your time, you know. Don't injure yourself doing this stuff. I mean, it's been months for me. I've been like this, and I really do hope I get better. But I got the wheel off. I used the pry bar for leverage because I'm not lifting it. I'm not putting any like strain on myself doing this. So it's gonna take me longer than normal, but I'm gonna get it done. And I don't like other people working on my stuff, so I'm doing it myself. That's it. So I'll show you guys what's going on. I'll show you guys what I got set up here, and show you guys how I'm gonna get that spring out. So guys, the way that I do this is I jack the car up, the Jeep, and then I put a jack stand on the frame. So what you're gonna do is with the link off here, think about it as if you're off-roading in the woods. You're gonna flex the axle. Flex the axle, the spring's gonna pop out. That simple. It's really not a hard job. The hardest part of the job is gonna be those spring retainers and probably re-centering my axle. So the leveling kit itself is easy. It goes right up top right here, and it'll just bring all that down. So let me get this spring out, and I'll show you guys exactly what I mean by flex the axle. And yeah, so let me pop that out really quick, and then I'll get back to you guys in just a second. All right guys, so what I was talking about flexing it, as you can see, the rotor's pretty much on the ground. I was able to just pop the spring right out. Putting it back in is going to be the hard part, because we're going to have spring retainers in there. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the spring retainer in here and not screw it in. And then I'm just going to go through here and screw it in, because it's going to be really hard to put that back in with a spring retainer that comes, you know, way down here. So we'll figure that out when we get there. But yeah, that's how you get the spring out. As you can see, it's flexed out pretty good. Let me show you the other side. Sorry, my garage is a little small, so I gotta walk all the way around here. I would love to have a bigger garage, but that's not really doable right this minute. But as you can see, we are flexed out right now. So yeah, if you guys were wondering, these tires do clear when you flex, so that's nice to know. This thing won't be getting wheeled till I get another daily driver though, but yeah, so let me pop the spring out and I'll show you guys where the leveling kit goes and everything, and we'll get the spring retainers on and be good to go, hopefully. And hopefully my back will be good to go too, but we'll see what happens. So let me get this out all the way, and then I'll show you guys what we're gonna do to install those spring retainers and the leveling kit. All right guys, so if you're wondering what's going on down here, this was if you guys are familiar with the Grand Cherokees, these rot out, so we kind of just made our own fix for it. This is a 3-inch exhaust tubing that we just welded in there. As you can see, it's all hollow underneath, but this has worked pretty good. I do have the repair kits inside my house, but it's not really a point to repair it because there's nothing wrong with it. So just gonna leave it like this for a while and see what happens. But yeah, so here's the leveling kit right here, and this goes right up there like that, and then you're gonna put your rubber isolator there, and you're gonna put your spring back in, and it's that simple. That's if you're not doing spring retainers, that's all you're gonna have to do. For me, I'm doing spring retainers, so there's a hole right there, not that hole over there, but that one in the center, and we're gonna tap that hole, and then this is gonna sit like that. So we're gonna have a nice support for our spring, so it's never gonna pop out on us again. So this should be very, very beneficial. Shouldn't be too bad, I don't think, but I'll let you guys know what tap that is in just a second. I gotta look it up on Iron Rock's website, and then we'll get that tapped out, we'll get it installed, and hopefully we'll get this side buttoned up and go to the other side. So for those of you who don't know, the reason why I'm doing spring retainers is because I blew up my old 4.0, like my old engine, because I didn't have retainers. So what happened was the spring came out on the trail and the axle hit the oil pan. It didn't puncture it, like it didn't leak, but it cut off the pickup tube, and I only had 5 pounds of oil pressure. And I kept wheeling and I blew it up. And yeah, we're just not going to do that again. So that's why we're putting retainers in, so the spring can't come out and we won't ever have to worry about it again. So yeah, so don't make those mistakes. If you see your spring coming out, just stop. You know, sometimes you can't really notice, but I mean, I should have stopped. I mean, I got a little carried away. So yeah, but we're not going to do that again. And as you can see, I built it back better than ever. It's upgraded now. It's pretty much a fully built motor, so it's good to go. But it was a lot of money that I wouldn't have had to put out, you know, but it is what it is. Stuff happens, you know. So let me get the tap for that and tap it, and then I'll meet you guys back on the video. All right, guys, so this is a 1/2 inch by 20 tap. This is just a Harbor Freight tap set. I know somebody in the comments told me to put a riv nut up there. I've personally never used those, so I'm not really gonna mess with that, but I can see why that would be a lot better because that metal's really not that thick. But I'm gonna see what happens if I just put it in the way they tell you to, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, then I'll have to try the riv nut way. But it's not really rotted or anything, so the metal's pretty solid, so I think I could get away with it. And another thing too is when I use taps, I use like an adjustable instead of the tool to spin it in, just because this makes it easier. You have more leverage with this. So let me get the threads put in there and I'll show you guys how that comes out. All right, so the hole is tapped. This is pretty tight. I mean, it threads in nice. So I think I'm gonna leave it like that, but I think what I'm gonna do, because this metal's not that thick, so I don't wanna like crank this tight, or at least too tight. So what I'm gonna do, so you can see the threads in there. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put red Loctite on this, and I'm gonna put a bunch of it just to keep it from backing out and falling off on me. I think that will work really well. If not, I'm gonna do like the one subscriber said, to put a riv nut
I'm gonna see what happens. I'm just gonna try it this way. Like I said, I don't have any experience with riv nuts. I have experience with like rivets, but not riv nuts. So I'm gonna try this way first and see what happens. So let me um let me get the leveling kit on there, the spring back in, and then I'm gonna tighten this when everything's pretty much back in. So let me get that done and I'll show you guys what the finished product's gonna look like.
Alright guys, so as you can see, this is in. It's sturdy as all hell, to be honest with you. I don't think we're gonna need the riv nuts at all. It did thread in, I did tighten it. I just like kind of snugged it, like well, a little bit more than snug, because I don't want it falling off obviously, but it's pretty damn sturdy if you ask me. I have the leveling kit up top there, as you can see that. You're gonna want to line that up, that notch for the spring. There's a bunch of them, there's like 4 of them around there. And then you want to make sure that your little nipple down here, I guess you could call it a nipple, your little nipple's lined up with the hole in the axle right there. So I'm gonna go back up. I haven't fully decided if I'm gonna put the lowers on yet, because that upper is gonna do a lot, and I don't know. I guess we'll see. But the lowers go right here. You're gonna just drill holes into here, and they strap around the spring. But I need to get it back on the ground to do that. So let me get all this buttoned up, and we'll move on to the other side. I'm probably not gonna film the other side because it's the same concept as this. I did use red Loctite high strength on the bolt for the retainer, just because I don't want it to back out on me. But yeah, it's pretty straightforward. It's not too bad of a job. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'm more than happy to answer you guys. I like hearing from everybody. So yeah, so let me get the other side done and we'll pull it out of the garage and we'll see what everything looks like. I'm gonna have to recenter my track bar and my steering wheel, but that's really not too big of a deal. Everything's greased on here, so it should come off fairly easy. So let me get the other side done and we'll see how it looks. All right guys, so this side is all done. Wheels back on, everything. For all you guys, if any of you have like back problems, the way I did this without lifting it, because I'm technically not supposed to lift anything right now. So the way I did this was I literally put the Jeep at the perfect height to where it was lined up with the lug nuts, and I just slid the wheel over. I didn't lift it or anything. So if you guys have back problems, that's definitely a good way to do it. Or you can put a pry bar under the bottom and use leverage and push it up. But that was the easiest way for me. So I spun the Jeep around, I backed it in because there's not much room over here, obviously. Small garage problems. But we're gonna start on this side now. And when I get it all done, I'll show you guys some before pictures, some after pictures of the rake being fixed. And yeah, I'll let you guys know my thoughts and see how it drives and see how bad my axle is going to be off and everything. All right guys, so I got the leveling kit on. I got the upper spring retainers on. I always got stuff in my beard, man. I'm telling you. Anyways, I got the upper spring retainers on. I got the leveling kit on. I got very, very lucky. So I used to have this thing leveled with the same lift and everything, and I don't think I ever readjusted my track bar for the leveling kit not being there. So when I put the leveling kit, the axle was perfectly centered, so I didn't have to mess with my track bar, which is a huge relief because it's just a pain in the ass to do the track bar when you got to rock the Jeep left and right and all this stupid shit. So I'm very happy I don't have to adjust the track bar. And also my steering wheel, whenever what did I do last time? I did something. I think I redid, oh yeah, I moved the axle and I adjusted the caster. So whenever I adjusted my steering wheel before, I had it off to the right a little bit. So by going up just that 3/4 of an inch, my steering wheel is like perfectly centered, which if you're familiar with these Jeeps, they're steering box. So you got a little bit of play in the middle. So it's never going to be like perfect, but it's pretty close. So I'm going to leave that be because it's a lot better than what it was, what I've been driving around on. So I'm going to get the lower spring retainers done. I'm going to show you guys exactly how to do that. In the instructions, it says
a letter I drill bit, which good luck finding a letter drill bit because I couldn't. So this is what I got. Letter I is equivalent to 6.91 millimeters. So I got this guy right here, which is a 1764 drill bit. It says 6 to 7 millimeter. So this should be perfect for what we need. And then the bolts that came with the lower retainers, they're self-cutting. So they'll cut your threads and everything. You just bolt them in. I'm going to put red Loctite on these just so they don't come loose. I don't want anything flying off when I'm driving. This thing is my daily driver right now, at least for a couple more months. So red Loctite's going on everything. That's not coming off anytime soon. So these will probably never have to be removed unless I decide to go up with my lift or anything. But I don't think I'm going to because I like the height it's at. It's very, very usable. For you guys wondering, 5-inch lift on a Grand Cherokee. If you do it right, you could daily drive this thing all day. You're gonna get shit gas mileage, but I mean it's a Jeep. If you're looking for gas mileage, buy yourself a daily driver or leave it stock. But even stock, they don't get that great gas mileage, so I wouldn't be too concerned about it. But yeah, so I'm gonna get the lower spring retainers in. I'm gonna show you where those go because the instructions aren't very clear, but I do know where they go. I looked it up on Google, a couple pictures. So the only thing that we're gonna have to remove is the shock, the lower shock, like the 2 bolts. I think they're 11 millimeters, maybe they're 10s, but they're pretty small. I'm gonna remove both of those, use a pry bar, pry the shock up and out. We're gonna drill 2 holes, and then we're gonna bolt that on with red Loctite, and we're gonna be good to go. And then I'm gonna take you guys to probably the mall by my house. Well, not really by my house, but it's probably like, I don't know, a couple minutes from my house. I'm gonna go to the parking garage there to do some photos and everything, get you guys a nice like photo shoot. And I'm gonna put some before pictures in and some after pictures of how the leveling kit works and everything. So you'll be able to see a big difference about how this thing's level now. I drove it just now to Home Depot. It drives great, no weird noises or anything. But yeah, so I'll show you guys how those go. Let me get those done. I'll show you guys as soon as I unbolt the shock. So just bear with me a couple minutes.
All right, guys, so the spring retainer is going to go right here. I put 2 dots of where I'm going to drill my holes. So it's going to sit, you know, you wrap it onto the spring and it'll sit right like that, right in there, right like that. So it just holds down the spring. That's just so it can't lift up, so the spring can't lift up. But I'm going to drill these holes out. Hopefully it's not too bad to drill. I'm gonna start with a smaller bit. I got a couple bits here. I'm gonna start with something like this just to make a pilot hole, and then I'm gonna go back over it with the 17/32, I think it is, or whatever it was I showed you guys earlier. Probably this one. Yeah, 1764. So first do your pilot hole, then do your permanent hole. So let me get that drilled out, and I'll meet you guys back when I get it bolted in, and then I'll do the other side off camera, and then we'll head to see how much different the Jeep looks. There you have it. That's the install of the the leveling kit and the spring retainers. Everything's good. Drives great. It's level now, and that's what we want to accomplish. So yeah, so I have a video coming up. I'm gonna redo the headliner in this, and then probably gonna work on my buddy's truck, and I have some other stuff coming up. It's not really gonna be Jeep content just because
money's a little tight right now. Still trying to get a down payment together for daily driver and everything, so stuff's going to be on hold a little bit for this, but I do have more content coming. The headliner should be pretty cool. My one of my good buddies is going to come help me out with the headliner. He did his, so he knows what he's doing, so I don't screw it up because I've never done it. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for all the new subscribers that are on the channel. Please continue to watch, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.